Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Huddle and Place Within the Nine-Sided Circle. We are on episode 55, and it is May 25th, I think.
March. You want to go back?
I know. I just want to rewind. I just love quarantine so much. I want to do these past 2 months all over again.
That must be it.
Yeah, not really. Especially not here in LA. But I am one of your hosts, Noor Kyle, along with
The other one of your hosts, Mushtaq Ali.
And what do we have going on behind you today?
This is a cloud forest in Costa Rica.
Ooh,
Yes.
I just shivered because it was cold. I don't know why that came out, but cool. All right. I'm glad you're joining us
Yeah.
in Costa Rica there.
I wish I was back there. They have really good coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And excellent
Alas.
food.
Perhaps when this is all over, you can go to Costa Rica and have some Costa Rican coffee in the jungle.
What a good idea. That's where I want to go.
So, we want to just do we have anything we want to update on? Just anything?
People are getting crazier and more stupid by the day.
Yeah, and I feel like we say that every day, but that's pretty much
the
pattern. That's kind of is what's going on. I mean, they had to close down some canyon trails here in LA because people were just streaming through them, not social distancing, not wearing masks or anything, very close because you can only have so much room on a hiking trail and all that stuff, and everyone is just dying to get out and about. So it's a holiday weekend. Everyone is thinking the same thing, and that's a problem because it means more chance of viral spread. So
not even more chance of viral spread. It means more viral spread.
Yeah, and we're going to see how that plays out, a couple weekends from now when we are seeing the data from 2 weeks on. And it'll be interesting. We'll see how this reopening is progressing and whether it's affecting us in a negative way or not. I mean, we're going to have to respond accordingly, and we'll see what that looks like. Anyway, otherwise, numbers seem to be gradually taking a downward turn in terms of cases coming back positive and deaths at this point in LA. We'll see if that trend continues. I hope so. So, our topic tonight is having the courage to learn.
Yes. I wonder how many people realize that it actually takes courage to learn.
Yeah. Yep. Say more about that.
Learning means that you confront the unknown.
Right. Yeah.
Anytime you confront the unknown, it's scary.
Yeah, what kind of unknowns are we confronting? I mean, what comes to mind is limitations we've constructed for ourselves, new things we didn't realize were true and might be challenging one way or another. What else?
Your lack of skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you discover, oh, here's something I'm not good at.
Yeah. And that's okay, but it can be a bit of a shakeup.
But then there's all sorts of stuff attached to that. At least for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. So why might we value having the courage to learn? What is that? Okay, first of all, what does it look like to have the courage to learn? Why might we want that?
That's kind of two questions, I think. What does it look like? It looks like bravely facing the fact that you don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
first thing that you have to do to learn something is to admit that you don't know the subject.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The more you can admit that you don't know the subject, the easier it is to learn.
Yeah, and I remember, I mean, there's this advertisement on YouTube right now for some class, and I can't remember the author who was talking about this master class, but he was talking about how he was sitting in on a band's practice session, and they called their practice session where they would brainstorm ideas and stuff like dare to suck sessions. And sometimes that's what we need to do when we're just starting to learn something. We need to be comfortable with sucking at it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you have to suck at it. If you don't suck at it, you're not learning anything.
Right. That's absolutely true. And yeah, that's an excellent point. So, yeah, how do we become courageous?
Courage is not having fear. Courage
Mm-hmm.
is pushing through your fear and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Doing it even if you're terrified.
And that's
That's
not
what
easy.
courage is. No, it's not easy.
Yeah. It can be really trying.
Yep. Because fear is telling you basically you're gonna die. Oh no.
Yeah, like it feels very like primal in a sense to push up against that. Because you are touching on those things that are primal, like you're in, like, what's the word, instinctive sense of, you know, oh, if I cross this line it's going to be scary and dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at a time like now, when we're in the midst of a lot of changes socioculturally, economically, in terms of jobs that are out there, ways of taking classes that are out there, all these things are coming into play right now due to the pandemic. And some of these impacts are going to be temporary. They're not going to last longer than the amount of time they were sheltering in place or any of that stuff, but some of them will be permanent. Some of these changes will require us to respond in adaptable ways. And that's part of what having the courage to learn is. It's manifesting adaptability. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. What about it?
So we mentioned earlier that you know, taking I lost my thought just now.
Look under the desk. It's under the desk. This is a perfect example where you're talking about this and you lose your thought and you have to have courage to continue.
Right, yes.
Because you could go, oh my God, I failed.
We need to stop and start over.
Yeah.
Or not do this. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so adaptability is the ability to make different choices, to shift tracks according to the needs of the situation or your desires even. You know, it's that flexibility factor. And in a world that's changing so rapidly, adaptability becomes even more critical in order to get by and to navigate the things that are happening around you. And that certainly involves having the courage to learn, having the courage to adapt. So, what do you think, Mushtaq?
Oh, I was thinking about one of my favorite learning models, but we'll get to that after we finish this thought.
Yeah.
Thought.
I mean, adaptability is going to make it easier to shift gears in your career or in your studies if you're finding that where you're at is just not going to be viable going forward. And if you're feeling like you're not able to be flexible and adaptable right now, that's where courage comes in.
Yep.
Because it is possible if you give yourself the chance. But it's easy to be attached to where you're at. It's easy to be subsumed in the fears that you might have around fear of failure, fear of embarrassing yourself, fear of change. All those things can come into play. So how might we work through that? Well, how might we work through that?
Well, there's a model I use. It's of 4 parts, and I've used this pretty much with everything that I teach.
Hmm.
And it starts out with the idea that a person starts the learning process in a state called unconscious incompetence, which
Yeah.
basically means you don't know, and you don't even know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You start studying something, and you reach a state called conscious incompetence. And that means that you know that you don't know. And once you do that, you can start practicing and failing and practicing and failing and
Mm-hmm.
failing and practicing. You're not really failing, you're just getting feedback.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. You know the difference between failure and feedback?
Tell us.
Failure is when the process is no longer recoverable.
Mm.
So if I'm driving down the road and I drive my car off the road and into a pylon and my car is totaled, I have failed.
Yep.
If I'm driving down the road and I start feeling myself drifting a little bit and I go over those little dots on the road and then I correct, I've just gotten feedback. And you use the feedback to correct the situation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, there's this phenomenon where the more you learn about whatever it is you're working on, the more you feel like you suck because you become more aware of what you don't know.
Yep.
And that's okay. It's okay to be a little bit freaked out by that. It just goes to show that you're becoming more and more exposed to whatever it is you're learning. And that's a good thing.
Yep. And so the third step in this is called conscious competence. That's where you can do it if you think about it.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Mushtaq.
That's okay. And then you get to the 4th step, which is unconscious competence. This thing that you were completely ignorant about before, you can now do without thinking about it.
There you go.
That's how learning works.
Yep.
But the first 2 steps, even the 3rd step, are scary.
Yep.
And that's where the courage comes in. You have to face your own incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And the moment you admit that, then you can do it. You can begin learning how to do it.
So how can we support our own bravery? One thing we keep, I mean, this is my suggestion, and we always come back to this, is doing supportive breath exercises, doing grounding breath exercises.
Yep. All of those things are really good. You know, everything should start with a breath exercise as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, I agree. Because that's going to keep you in your body. It's going to keep you from getting anxious and panicky about the fact that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I might fail. Like, all of that stuff is okay. It doesn't have to become a big freak out. It's like, okay, we're going to breathe into this experience of learning something new. And it's going to be okay. A little bit at a time. So, do you have anything else we want to add?
No, for a short talk, that's pretty much where we are, I think.
Yeah. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be insecure. Just know that witnessing those things and then letting them be as they are and moving through them gradually, if need be, all of that's good. You're getting to your destination. So have courage.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you don't have courage, pretend that you have courage.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we've got for tonight. Yeah.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Take care. Stay healthy. Bye.
Bye.